Decades ago, CNBC brought Wall Street to Main Street. The channel, now known for its many offerings that cover the professional world, particularly finance and investing, makes its biggest mark as an easily accessible source to not be a dunce. As with all the investments CNBC covers, it helps to know history. Today's video covers CNBC's. Before getting into CNBC's history, help this channel continue to make its own by hitting the like button and smashing subscribe to help visibility and ensure you don't miss any future videos. CNBC is a worldwide free-to-air business channel, broadcasting in more than 170 countries. It is comparable to the Financial Channel and Bloomberg TV, except it's a lot broader and richer in content. It also offers breaking news reports and business reports throughout the day, and it features a number of world-renowned business people, industry analysts, and bankers. The channel is frequently referred to as CNBC TV, for the reason that its coverage frequently covers world events. It is accessible from CNBC's website, on cable, via satellite, and through digital cable subscriptions. The name of the company was intended to attract attention to the financial markets, particularly because it was owned and operated by the respected cable television network NBC. As such, CNBC's ultimate decree on its debut episode was to see the world through your eyes. The network was designed with 24-hour information delivery in mind. Since then, CNBC has been covering a wide range of topics: politics, business, global and national news, money, and the environment. A few years ago, CNBC expanded their coverage further into health, while exploring broader education topics and employment coverage. The channel's initial public television offerings, much like most of the IPOs it now analyzes, were vastly different from the respected coverage of the business and investment world the company is known for nowadays. In 1988, NBC signed a letter of intent to buy Oklahoma's Tempo Television, which had 12 million subscribers. The deal allegedly cost CNBC $45 million, about $99.5 million today. CNBC intended to use that money and the appropriately named Tempo to create business and sports programming channels. Former President Bob Wright considered launching CNBC, the biggest action NBC took outside of the network itself. Viewers thinking field goals and finance goals don't mix aren't wrong. CNBC had considerable difficulty getting cable carriage at first, as many providers were skeptical of placing it alongside the more established Financial News Network launched in 1981. In late 1990, CNBC was only in 17 million homes, less than half of the Financial News Network's reach. Though many executives and cable carriers frowned on CNBC and those disappointing numbers, Lady Luck smiled. The Financial News Network behind closed doors experienced its own financial struggles. Profit losses were CNBC's gain. The channel purchased its rival network for $154.3 million in 1991 and promptly merged the operations, effectively ending the Financial News Network entirely. The next day, CNBC revamped its 2-year-old business news service, aligning with the same channels that FNN and CNBC once traveled on their own. CNBC also hired about 60 members of the FNN staff. The new service was being carried to more than 40 million cable subscribers, up from the 17 million I mentioned it had just a year ago. The increase made CNBC the 16th largest cable network in the United States. Of course, CNBC's respect extends beyond the States. CNBC Europe began broadcasts in March 1996, as a wholly owned subsidiary of NBC. The following year, the channel announced that it would merge with the Dow Jones News Channel in Europe, European Business News, EBN, which had been on air since 1995. The merger took place in February 1998, upon which the channel then became known officially as CNBC Europe, a service of NBC and Dow Jones. It began airing in the UK in 1998 and immediately began to gain a large audience around the area. In fact, marketing research firm YouGov's data shows CNBC Europe is now the 77th most popular television channel and 65th most famous. YouGov includes streaming services like Netflix, making CNBC's international brand awareness more impressive. Just how far does that awareness reach? Currently, CNBC can be heard in almost 100 countries around the world. Many people refer to this channel as CNBC TV. as it may be heard on the air in many different countries. But CNBC is always shorthand. There are several events that have shaped the channel's channel history. For example, the global financial crisis of September 2008 brought the economy to its knees and the country into a tailspin of nearly 3 years. Many economists believe the mortgage-backed securities issued in the months leading up to the crisis were actually fraudulent. As a result, Congress enacted the HOPE Act to aid homeowners in financing their loans. This led to a sharp increase in home sales and a subsequent strengthening of the housing market. Along similar lines, CNBC has also introduced economic news in the United States that mirrors international events. For instance, when covering the long-running European debt crisis that includes 5 of the continent's countries, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Portugal, and Spain, to varying degrees, failing to generate enough economic growth to efficiently repay bondholders, CNBC has provided analysis that resembles international news channels. CNBC even delves into the political fallout of such events, both at home in the United States and internationally. CNBC has provided a myriad of different solutions through its business channel. This has helped business across the board. The business channel has also provided commentary on the latest trends in world economics. For example, CNBC released data that showed the full extent of how badly the pandemic restricted the world economy, causing most members of the G7 to see minimum to negative growth. CNBC was quick to point out the negative effects this lack of economic growth had on world trade. This economic report also pointed to the slowing of economic progress in China, which has the second largest GDP in the world. Sometimes, CNBC's biggest happenings aren't when worlds collide, rather when world-renowned investors collide. In the case of Carl Icahn and Bill Ackman, an ugly piece of investing history aired live on the channel in 2013. As many of you know, Ackman shorted Herbalife on a $1 billion bet, presenting a 342-slide PowerPoint presentation at the 2012 SON conference, ultimately calling Herbalife a pyramid scheme. That didn't sit well with Icahn, who remarked in an infamous CNBC telephone interview, "Ackman is like a crybaby in the schoolyard. I went to a tough school in Queens, and they used to beat up the little Jewish boys. He was like one of the little Jewish boys crying." Ackman retorted he wouldn't invest with Icahn if Icahn was the last investor on Earth. CNBC knows Icahn certainly isn't the last investor on Earth. The channel helps millions. CNBC can provide you with basic information and hosts expert analysis that is often used as a tool common people use to decide when to buy or sell stocks. A rolling ticker provides constant, real-time updates on share prices on the New York Stock Exchange, Dow, Nasdaq, and Amex, as well as market indices, weather updates, and news summaries. CNBC's versatility earns it a growing ratings sector. Last March, the channel hit its highest point in years, with an average audience of 233,000 people. It passed 200,000 again a couple weeks ago and currently hovers around 150 to 180,000 average viewers on the week. It was the 62nd most watched network in 2020 among the 18 to 49 age demographic. Of course, CNBC attracts older investors as well, meaning its total viewership is probably even higher, maybe by a considerable rank. Not bad for a company that struggled to even find cable carriers early on. Hopefully, not bad is your reaction to this historical look at CNBC's channel. If you enjoyed it, take a further look at our channel. While you're there, smash the subscribe button for more content. Thank you for watching, and keep on learning daily. As Warren Buffett says, the more you learn, the more you earn.